You're welcome to this lesson, and I hope that you're doing great. So, in our last lesson, we talked about addition of two or more polynomials. If you recall, we said that we can add two or more polynomials by first of all collecting like terms and then adding the number that are having the same powers. For instance, if you're to add this polynomial expression, we have 3x squared plus 5x plus 7. If you're to add it with another polynomial expression, which is 2x squared minus 4x plus 3. So take note of the sign. The question says add. This is the sign right here. You have to add this two polynomial expression, and for you to do so, it's very simple for you. You have to first collect the like times of these polynomials, like bringing them out of the bracket first. The first one, we have 3x squared plus 5x plus 7 plus 2x squared minus 4x plus 3. So your next step here is to bring identical terms, the terms that have the same powers. So looking at the both expressions, you will notice that the first expression has the highest power of 2 because we have 3x squared. So the highest power of that particular expression is 2. And in the other expression, the highest power is also 2. So we are going to add the number that have the same power. We are going to bring them and add them up together. So this is what I mean. This will be, in this expression, we have 3x squared plus, we'll add it with the highest power of the other expression if they have the same power, which is 2x squared. Then the next one will be what is the next number that have power, because you are going to arrange them in order. So the next number will be, we have 5x minus, the other one is 4x. So that's how you go, you follow them in a particular order. So the next one, we have the constant, because they doesn't have a variable, so they are just constant. You cannot add the two constant that we are having there. We have plus 7 and plus 3, you can see. So this is how you simplify a polynomial expression, by adding them according to their powers. So you haven't done. So the next thing you have to do now is to add them. We have 3x squared plus 2x squared. If you add them up, you get 5x squared. Then we also have 4x, 5x minus 4x. So if you add them, we are going to have 1x. So probably this will be x, because it's the same thing as 1x. Then we now have 7 plus 3, and that will give you 10. So this is how you add two polynomials. So this is just a quick recap of what we did in our last lesson. So at this moment, our focus will be on multiplication of polynomials. How do we multiply polynomials? That is the topic for the moment. How do we multiply and solve polynomials? So Let's go to it. So look at this expression now. We have one polynomial expression stating that 2x squared minus 4, and we have another polynomial expression. We have minus 4 minus x raised to the power of 4 plus x squared plus 5x. The question is, what are you required to do? It's very important to know the sign of a polynomial expression so that you can know the particular solution you're going to give. So looking at this, we don't have an addition sign here. There is no addition sign. There is no addition sign. I just write this one. And similarly, there is no subtraction sign. And so now, since there is no basic operation like division, subtraction, addition, or multiplication, and the equation is presented this way, so all you're asked to do is to multiply them. In other words, if I have, for instance, I give you, or you're given equation, let's say a open bracket b. So this is the same thing as a times b. Or if you're given equation like 2 open bracket 3. So this is the same thing as 2 times 3. So multiplication. But if maybe they separate them with an addition sign, so it's basically 2 plus 3. But since there is no sign there, then just know that what you're required to do there is to multiply the two polynomials. So now the question is, how do you multiply this particular polynomial? So it's very simple to multiply them. So to multiply this, you are going to take this term and multiply it with everything here on one side. Then also you take the next term, which is minus 4. You also multiply it with everything here on this other expression. So let's put it into practice and see what is expected of us to do. So like I said, you're going to take the first time, which is 2x squared. 2x squared, you multiply it with everything of the other polynomial, which is, we have minus 4x minus x raised to the power of 4 plus x squared plus 5x. Nice. You have taken your first time there, which is 2x squared. Then now take the next time, which is minus 4. I'm referring to this. You also take it minus 4. You equally multiply it with everything of the other polynomial, and that will be open bracket minus x raised to the power of 4 plus x squared plus 5x. Now close your bracket. Then what is your next step? The next step you have to take is to expand the numbers in this bracket. You are going to expand them. That is, 2 will multiply everything in this bracket, minus 4 will also multiply everything in this bracket. So we are going to do this a bit by bit and step by step. So now you start with 2 multiplied by minus 2x squared multiplied by minus x raised to the power of 4. So 2x raised to the power of 2 times minus x. So this is how you multiply this. You have 2x raised to the power of 2 times minus x raised to the power of 4. So you know minus x raised to the power of 4 is the same thing as 1x raised to the power of 4. So by the time you multiply it, you have 2 times 2 times x will still give you 2x. Then you now add the powers. Here we have the power of 2 and here we have the power of 4. So by the time you add them, you have the power of 6. So this will give you minus 2x raised to the power of 2, because you're multiplying minus you're multiplying 2x raised to the power of 2 times minus x raised to the power of 4. So if you multiply it, you take note of the negative sign. So it will be minus 2x raised to the power of 6, because we are adding the powers. So here we are going to have minus 2x raised to the power of 6. Then you now multiply again, because 2x raised to the power of 2 is multiplying everything in this bracket. Please don't forget it, take note of it. It is multiplying everything in that particular bracket. So now the next one will be 2x raised to the power of 2 times x raised to the power of 2. The next one is 2x squared times x raised to the power of 2. So again, you multiply them and add the power. So this one will give you 2x raised to the power of 4. Take note of the sign. Um, if there is negative sign, you take note of it. So this will be plus 2x raised to the power of 4. And the next one is multiplying 2x raised to the power of 2 times 5x. 2x raised to the power of 2 times 5x. So here you have 2x raised to the power of 2 times 5x. So don't forget, if it is only x, you know that it has a power of 1. So even though the 1 is not written, but just know that if it is only x, it has a power of 1. So by the time you multiply 2 and 5, 2 times 5, you get 10x. Then you add the power, you have 3. So this will be plus 3 plus 10x raised to the power of 3, rather, pardon me, 10x raised to the power of 3. So now you're done expanding one of the bracket. Then the next one is to expand the other bracket, which is this. You're multiplying 4 with every values in the bracket. So let's continue with the expansion and see the results of this expansion. So the first value there, we have minus 4 times minus x raised to the power of 4. minus 4 times minus x raised to the power of 4. So here 4 doesn't have x, it's only 4. So you just multiply it. So we have minus 4 times minus x. So this will give you plus 4x raised to the power of 4. So you now write it down, plus 4x raised to the power of 4. So the next one is minus 4 times x raised to the power of 2. Minus 4 times x raised to the power of 2 minus 4 times x raised to the power of 2. So if you multiply them, you will still have minus 4x raised to the power of 2. So you write it down. Take note of the sign, because if you miss the sign, it may affect the entire result. You have minus 4x raised to the power of 2. Then the next is minus 4 times 5x. Minus 4 times 5x. Minus 4 times 5x. So if you multiply it, you have minus 20x. So you write it taking note of the sign, minus 20x. So you can see that you have already completed your expansion. You have already completed your expansion, and you have already multiplied the two polynomials. So the question you have to ask yourself now is that, are you done? Haven't expanded the two uh, brackets? Have you expanded it and getting these values? Are you done with the solution? So the answer is that you're not done, because if you observe, you can simplify this further. Remember when we calculated addition of polynomials, so we have to collect like terms, then we add the like terms that we collected. And how do we collect like terms here? We collect like terms according to the degree of powers. That's how we are going to collect light, and we'll arrange them from the values that have the highest power down to the value that have the lowest power, and also the values that doesn't have power should that case arise. So that's how you arrange them in order from the highest power to the lowest power. So let's rearrange this from the highest power to the lowest power. So if we look at this expression, we'll see that the highest power here is 6, followed by 4, another 4, followed by 3, 2, and 1. So that's how we are going to rearrange this in a particular order. So we are having minus 2x raised to the power of 6. We will have minus 2x raised to the power of 6. So the next value with the highest power, we have plus 2x raised to the power of 4, followed by plus 4x raised to the power of 4 also. You have to take note of this, because we have two numbers that have a highest power of 4, that have a power of 4. We have two values with a higher power, with a power of 4. Then followed by plus 10x, which has the power of 3, followed by again minus 4x, which have the power of 2, and then I think the last one is minus 20x. So now that you have arranged them from the highest power to the lowest power as in ascending order, then the question again is, are you done? No, you're not done. You have to observe if there are powers, if there are terms that you can add them. So you can only add terms that have the same power. So if a term have the same power, you can add them. So we only have one power of 6. That is, we have 2x raised to the power of 6. So the power of six appears only once. So that means we cannot add this with any other term. But if you look at the next terms, which is 2x raised to the power of 4 and also 4x raised to the power of 4. So they have the same powers. So that shows that we can add them because they are having the same power. So we can simply add them. So if we add them, we will be having minus 2x raised to the power of 6 minus 2x raised to the power of 6. Then if we add these two, we will have plus 6x raised to the power of 4, then plus 10x raised to the power of 3 minus 4x raised to the power of 2 plus 20x. So with this now, you are done with your expansion. So with this, you are done with the expansion of these polynomials. So like I said, you have to take note of the sign. So the last value here ought to be minus 20, not plus 20. Check it here. So it has to be minus 20. So that is how you expand two polynomials. So in summary, you have to take the first value, multiply it with every term of the given polynomial, then also take the next value, also multiply it with every time of the other polynomials. And after it, you collect like times, that is arranging them from a number that have a higher power down to the number that have the least power. And after doing so, you now check and also observe if there are powers that have if there are terms that have the same power. So if you have a term that have the same power, then you can add them or subtract them depending on the sign the term have. So also when doing this, you have to take note of the sign. Taking note of the sign is very important, because if you miss the sign, it may affect the entire result. Where you're supposed to put plus and you made a mistake and put minus, or where you're supposed to put minus and you make mistake and put plus. So doing so might affect your answer, the final answer. So thank you for joining this lesson, and I hope to see you again in our subsequent lesson. So if you have any question, you can drop it or reach out to me. I'll be willing to attend to your question. So thank you for your time. Do have a fruitful and a great studies. Thank you.